There's an order. Ready. My name is Dominic Barrett. At ITP, I've been interested in making tools for creators. My thesis question is, how can tools not only aid us technically, but also generate inspiration, keep us motivated, and support us emotionally? With this in mind, I wish to write a book that starts out as a recipe collection of intermediate skill-level creative technology projects. However, as the book progresses, it will slowly morph into a narrative story, less and less technical know-how and more personal stories with meditations on what it means to create. Part O'Reilly coding book, part Italo Calvino, part Anna Anthropy's Rise of the Video Game Zinesters. My hope is to inspire on the technical level, and more importantly, the creative and emotional. Thank you. No clapping. No clapping. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline Zen, and my thesis question is, how can we connect women in times of need? There's a saying that when a woman comes up to you and asks you for a tampon, it doesn't matter if she's your worst enemy, you give it to her. I want to help women connect to each other when they are in times of need, such as when they need a tampon, and make it easier for them to connect to each other without having to be awkward. Thank you.
Please, no clapping. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Jeffrey Park. My thesis question, it relates to how I want to explore this question of how we can make advertising and marketing less intrusive to regular human beings. And I want to answer this question, or I want to explore this question through the lens of like how we can engage the public space and move away from intruding into our private space. So I definitely want to explore what the public and private space mean in both the physical and the digital world. What this means as a project, I've not determined yet. It might be a physical installation or a VR project. It also might be a series of project proposals and prototypes for larger brands. I hope to get to a place where we might push brands to use marketing budgets on creative projects that aid high-impact public issues instead of simply slapping logos on billboards or banner ads. It's not necessarily a project on data and privacy, but more of an exploration about the public space. And I'm towing the line between trying to make something artful and like solving a real business problem.
I'm Laura Perry. I'm fascinated by a place called Dead Horse Bay in Brooklyn. It used to be called Barren Island, but it's also known as Bottle Beach after the bottles that are littered across the shore. Basically, it's a beach full of trash from the 1850s to the 1950s after a dump that was capped under the direction of Robert Moses has been eroded by the tide. And it's sort of this living museum on a beach that's full of old horse bones and old Clorox bottles and basically old trash. For thesis, I'm interested in exploring how to tell the stories of this place and possibly others like it that offer up clues into their own histories. I'm not sure what it will look like yet, but I'm interested in exploring the question, can technology help reveal the layers of urban archaeology that mostly go unnoticed in daily life?
Hi, I'm Lenny. I come from a place where actually they don't talk much about history and about events that took place in the past. So I'm kind of interested to see what history means and how we can use technology so that we wouldn't make it repeat itself. I come from a country where the book of history stopped being written since 1943. We wiped away the Civil War and everything after, so I'm interested to see where technology can help talk about certain issues. Thank you.
Hey there, I'm Regina Cantu, and well, death is the basis of life. Life relies on the regeneration of the resources that sustain it and the agents that breathe it to find a way back into the system through transformation. I want to find out how sensitive are we as a Western civilization to this truth. As a civilization who has taken a picture of Pluto or put a whale in a tank, how has that impacted us? What is the place in technology in it, and how can that make us different?
Hi, I'm Stephanie Colton. Marshall McLuhan asserted that technology is an extension of the body. Clothing extends our skin, x-rays extend our sight, railways extend our movement. But to revise McLuhan, technology extends a universalized body, a body of an imagined form, imagined ability, imagined dexterity. But the body is just that, it's imagined, and there's no true singular material form that holds. So, to divorce this imagining of bodies from any material form means that's a possibility for many more. And so I'll look at the game of punk to try to explore how technology universalizes bodies and how we can undermine that. How does technology shape bodies, and likewise, how do bodies shape technology? How do we understand our body through technology, and how can technology extend the particularity of many bodies?
Hi, my name is Stephen Simon, and my question is, should design be intelligent? My background is in web design, and often when I go home, my parents will always ask me questions like, how do I check my email, or how do I find this on a website? And from what I've understood, it's usually because of the way the website is designed. And so my idea is that websites right now are built horizontally, so desktop, tablet, mobile. But maybe there's a way that I can write a script that can understand how users individually use a website and then build it across vertically. So there are different experiences based on the results of how people use websites and give them a custom experience.
Hi, my name is Alexia Kirakopouliou. So research indicates 30 million people suffer from eating disorders in the US, which have the highest mortality rate among mental illnesses. It has been established that specific sounds can alter our perception of taste, but what about tricking our sense of sight? Advances in AR mean that in the not-so-distant future, we could easily be eating one thing while perceiving to be eating something entirely different. Research has proved that altering food color and visual texture can really change its appeal. With the popularity of sharing images of food on social media platforms, colloquially referred to as food porn, making food visually attractive is arguably more important than ever. For my thesis, I want to explore how using AR to modify the appearance of food can potentially trick the brain into a different taste experience that could encourage positive dietary changes.
Thank you. Thanks, Group 1. We're going to have Group 2 come up now. Group 3, please line up on the side. Sure. We have Brandon, Kader, Demosthenes, Matthew, Uli, Hyun Hwang, Li Chong Chen, Niquan Chen, Samantha Schulman, Gustav Chanda, Wan Chen, Liao Tian. Again, everyone stand right in the middle. In front of you, you'll see a timer. When you have 10 seconds left, it will be yellow. When you are out of time, which is when you reach your 1 minute mark, it will be red and you will hear the gong go off.
Hi, my name is Jeannie. My subject is UX and UI design in VR. I have interest in user experience, but so far I studied this with focusing on mobile and web. So I wanted to work with focusing on how to make an immersive user experience in VR and what would be the best idea to create UI design in VR rather than just adjusting to the design for it to VR. So I haven't fixed the specific story of the VR content yet, but it probably will be about the animal protection.
Hi, I'm Scott Reitherman, and I want to make a series of investigations into immersive acoustic storytelling to try and understand how sound design can tweak our perceptions of the world that surrounds our ears and function as a powerful cognitive primer. This will be a continuation of the projects I've been making at ITP, experimenting with spatialized sound design for mixed reality, location-aware audio guides, and manipulating the soundscapes of New York City's interior and exterior spaces. For instance, how can I translate noise pollution into beautiful musical characters? How can I use immersive technologies to let someone improvise musically? Can I alter the quality of the sound of the inner monologue inside my own head? And how can I manipulate moments to be calm and delightful, or overlay contextual information that provokes someone to take a deeper look at the world around them? The other side of this cognitive priming that I'm really interested in is the moment when you take the tech off and experience the world around you with new ears.
Hi, my name is Lin. As augmented reality and machine learning are going to be used more and more in productivity applications, our screen becomes three-dimensional and more intelligent. Unlike 2D graphical user interface, more information will be smartly generated and shown in space. In this context, I want to explore 3D user interface design for ergonomic applications of multitasking and productivity in my thesis.
Hi, my name is Shivanku. I've lived in New York for more than a year, but can I call myself a New Yorker? I don't feel that. My friends tell me I've not explored the city enough to call myself a New Yorker, and I don't understand that either. I mean, what does it mean? Do I have to visit more museums? Do I have to visit more local restaurants, make more local friends? I'm sure all that will help, but I know it's deeper than that. In fact, understanding any community is, if you're not careful enough, is really hard. It's really hard to look beyond the stereotypes of those communities if you're not very careful. So that's my thesis question. My thesis question is about identity, but it's not about my identity or identity of an individual, but I want to focus on large social groups and try to build ways to understand these groups beyond their stereotypes.
Let us skip Simon for now.
Hi, my name is Shelley Hu. Artist Francis Bacon said, "Why, after the great artists, do people try to do anything again? Only because from generation to generation, the instincts change. As the instincts change, there comes a renewal of the feeling, how can I make this thing once again more clearly, more exactly, more violently?" I want to explore how the nature of violence and the power behind has changed through the evolution of technology. In what situations do we execute our power? How aware are we of its consequences? How can art adapt to this increasing violence?
Hi, my name is Yihan. I have always been interested in semiotics and have been trying to make lots of projects related to it. Generally, semiotics is an investigation into how meaning is created and communicated. It could be a word, a piece of sound, a tone, a smell, and a shape. I think it's a way of seeing the world and of understanding how the landscape and culture in which we live have a massive impact on all of us unconsciously. Throughout these 2 years of ITP of exploring the arts with technology, I think I will revisit this topic again and use the new skill I have.
Hello, I'm Zhu. I have one sentence. I would like to investigate the psychology and emotions of being a single child since the one-child policy had been implemented in China 38 years ago.
Adi. I would like to explore how design can create moments of euphoria in different forms or products, possibly continuing the camera I built in PComp to space design from as small a scale as an installation to designing a city. Thank you, group 2. Group 4, could you line up on this side, please? And Shihan San, Mithru, Noif, or Oriana, Rushali, Sebastian, and Yushul Song. All right, group 3, you're up.
Hello, my name is Brandon. I'm interested in exploring an immersive experience, music and visual, generative, and it's like a VR experience without the VR goggles, like a holodeck in Star Trek. And I wanted to create a moment that can be sculpted through this interface, using a touch-free interface and exploring the ways of accomplishing this.
Hello, my name is Dimos Markopoulos. Imagine feeling tired, sad, down, or any other way that you wish you could immediately feel better. Since smell is the strongest of our 5 senses, I would like to research the effect that smell could have on humans. Is it possible to trigger a mood swing or affect the ability to make decisions just by the power of smell? My goal is to create a machine that will get people's input about their current mood state and then outcome a specific smell to alter their mood.
Hi, I'm Haya Pang, and my dissertation question is how machine learning can contribute to more playful and engaging interactive installation experience. Before coming to ITP and during my ITP years, I have been making several interactive installations for art and museums, and especially I love to make them with something physical and painted interfaces. And recently I started to have interest about machine learning. I believe there are more possibilities in machine learning that can integrate to future of interactive installations.
Hi, my name is Lu Qian, and my thesis question is how technology can shape the future of retail store. Facing the field of online shopping, many retail stores are worried about losing their customers. It's very convenient to shopping online. You can shopping anywhere, anytime. Not mention sometimes price are even cheaper. So what drive to people went to retail store if they can shopping online? My insight is the function of retail store already shift from the shopping to experiencing. So since we learn all kind of technology in ITP, I would like to explore how this technology can enhance the customer's experience in retail store and how the future of retail store will be look like.
Hi, my name is Samantha. I came to ITP to discover and bring a new perspective to wearable technology, including a focus on sustainability. However, I did not anticipate working with assistive technologies until my aunt recently expressed her frustration with the lack of wearables to maintain daily chronic pain. In addition to medication, applying heat to muscle pain can reduce the symptoms of discomfort and improve quality of life. Therefore, my thesis goal is to develop a lightweight textile with user-controlled heat therapy to help alleviate the symptoms associated with chronic pain, muscle soreness, neck and back pain, generalized anxiety, migraines, and more. I would also like the textile to adhere to sustainable, ethical, and closed-loop practices, and of course, style.
Hi, I'm Utsav, and today I'm going to speak about death. Interesting, concerning, inevitable. Is there life after death? I don't know. Can there be AI after death? Perhaps. In an age where we constantly archiving memories through text messages, voice calls, journals, video surveillance, my question is, can we use these inadvertent memories to replicate a dead person or identity? Can one have a conversation with a dead author or philosopher? Can you revisit dead kin in a virtual space? Can you play with a beloved pet that you miss? Can all these personalities be recreated using art and technology? Thanks.
Hi, my name is Yuan Chen. My thesis question is, what makes you think a thing is alive? I think human beings have some obsession of other life, and I don't want to be alone in this planet. And I'm always interested in making a role moment for people's daily life. So I want to make a live creature as my thesis project. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Miao. When I was in middle school, my English teacher challenged me to watch a trilogy called The Matrix. What struck me most was this architect guys design an entire system that functioned as a holistic world. I thought, wow, that's cool. Years later, I become an architect, and the cubicle kind. I realized it wasn't satisfying me. We're living in a matrix created by major social media today. So my question is, as a former architect, what can I create to contribute a breakthrough?
All right, group 5, could you please line up here? David, Carly, Koji, Pilar, Michael, Susan, Nathaniel, Patrick, Rita, and Vesna. All right, everyone, let's welcome group 4.
Hi, my name is Ji Xuan Sun. We are experiencing mixed feelings whenever and wherever we are. So this concept is to explore the hidden emotions. We are experiencing mixed feelings whenever and wherever we are. My thesis concept is to explore the hidden emotions and feelings of human beings. One of the examples is guilty pleasure. It is a spiritual experience that we all gone through and shame of telling people. I hope my thesis project I hope my thesis project would connect and communicate with all of you.
Hello everyone, my name is Mithru. Diane Ackerman, the American poet and author, once wrote, "We live on the leash of our senses. The only way we can know the world is through our senses. So in one way, they imprison us, but in another, they set us free because they allow us to extend our bodies and ideas through time and space." A sense is a capacity that provides data for perception of phenomena. But what phenomena exist that we as humans do not or cannot perceive with our current sensory functions? To what degree does technology eliminate our need for some of these senses, and to what degree do they enhance them? A sensory homunculus is a distorted representation of the human. A sensory homunculus is a distorted representation of the human body. It is based on the perceived map of these ideas, of these areas of the brain dedicated to processing motor functions or sensory functions for different parts of the body. So what would a sensory homunculus of a future human look like? For the next semester, I've decided to explore themes involving sensory perception, synesthesia, and the effects of our evolving use of technology on these themes.
Sorry, we're having some technical difficulties.
It worked yesterday.
Hello. This
This seems okay. Maybe it's everyone's phones that's messing with it. There's a $1,200 version of this, and this is the $200 version.
Hi guys. So we are surrounded by hyper-connected smart devices that help us communicate, use, and exchange information, and even make a profit. But they severely lack in one aspect: emotion. They are lifeless and completely devoid of any ability to tell us how annoyed or happy or depressed we are, and I see this as a problem. We share with our devices more information about our inner thoughts and feelings than anyone else in our lives. So the question is, if these devices are designed to handle and store vast amounts of information about ourselves, then why can't they respond to us on a more personal and intimate level? For my thesis question, I will be exploring how can technology become emotionally aware? How can it respond to me based on memories it has of me growing up with it? How can we turn technology itself to be a lifelong companion and a support system for our emotional needs? By making technology emotionally aware, we do not only have a tool to support us, but a tool to understand ourselves. Thank you.
Hey everyone, my name is Orr Fleischer, and during my time in ITP I worked on narrative and non-fiction projects. My main interest are stories told through the use of computer graphics. My thesis question is how can we use the huge collection of 2D documents, images, and videos archived from the last 100+ years in today's volumetric mediums. Using machine learning and computer graphics, I am interested in examining how we could reconstruct these documents in 3-dimensional space. This is both an examination of how digital archives collect, process, and store the information, and an investigation of which stories could we tell once we are able to convert 2D to 3D. There are so many open questions, but here's a personal one. How would it feel to walk inside a 3D reconstruction of a documentation showing someone you love and whom you lost? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mariana. I want to explore how you can make art more accessible. 95% of museums' collections are not on display, and people rarely have access to view private collections. So much art is hidden away in boxes and storage. How can we see this art not just as a JPEG on a screen, but in a way that's still impactful? When I was working managing an art collection, I noticed a very big gap in the art management software that was available. We need something that helps visualize the entirety of a collection, its relationship to itself, its scope, and its size. I want to make virtual museums of unseen collections as an organizational tool and also as a way of making art more accessible to the public. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Roshali. My thesis question is how can live performance be augmented for alternate narratives, whether it's a stand-up or street performance, and how can we deliver a narrative relevant to the viewer?
Perhaps I'm being idealistic or naive, thinking that technology will change the way people see themselves before the world, but at the same time I cannot see how this will not happen. I cannot see how this would not happen once our biological purpose of our body. I cannot see how this would not happen once our bodies no longer need to serve their biological purpose. Will we finally done with humanism as a movement and its dualities? How will the role of human body adapt to remain relevant in a post-humanistic environment?
Hi, my name is Yesu Song. This is a chart of electromagnetic spectrum, and human vision only can see like this small portion of the whole spectrum. So other living things see all different spectrums. What are we missing? What if we had superpower that can see the whole wavelengths? What can we get from seeing that? Here at ITP, I have forms or sculptures with invisible materials such as signals. Thank you.
Thank you, group 4. We're going to call group 6 to line up here. Ran Tian, Alex Zimmer, Chang Gao, Hyun Kim, Carly, Jose Manuel, Kyung Nai, and Sharif. Those 5 get ready.
Okay, my name is David Temchula. Art expresses the socio-political, the spiritual, the personal, the emotional. I'm curious if technology art can effectively address ideologies in these spaces. I hope to explore and grapple with these questions through multiple art forms, but ultimately rooted in the concept of data as a medium. How might we make data a more visceral experience? I hope what comes out of this is a body of artwork that probes the usage of data, not just as input and output, but as a whole itself.
Hi, I'm Carl Rosen, and I would like to explore concepts such as perception, reality, illusion, and ephemerality. With topics such as Schrodinger's cat, the observer effect, and the Berenstein-Bear theory, I would like to create a cabinet of wonder that exhibits these topics in a fun and educational way.
Hi everyone, I'm Coach Kanal. I'm co-founder of Gems. So here's a definition of art. The exploration or application of human creativity skill and imagination, typically in visual forms such as painting or sculpture, blah blah blah, and also some famous artists said. So art is emotional thing, and art is photography, art is self-expression, and art could be creating harmony or creating something beauty. So obviously this is unclear. So I'd like to challenge art with technology. So my thesis is, can machine or data define or redefine art and create art?
Testing. Yes.
You can be a lounge singer from that.
Hey. Hi, I'm Pilar Gomez. Women's biology has been weaponized against us. I find it fascinating that we use the term hysterical to refer to emotional stress that cannot be controlled, and that we borrow that word from the Greek word for uterus. I think it's very revealing of the cultural paradigm that we're particularly immersed in right now. And I think that this is particularly pervasive in the workplace. But here is precisely where I see an opportunity to reclaim our stolen biology. I want to explore the following intuition. Can we harness our cyclical nature to our advantage? I am thinking of designing a productivity system where women can use tools from the quantified self and mindfulness currents to manifest a more present and connected selfhood. This to be more fruitful in our everyday endeavors. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Michael Simpson.
Hello?
Hi, I'm Michael Simpson, and J.M.W. Turner, the painter, once said to Peter Ruskin, "Atmosphere is my style," and that's been, I guess, a guiding principle to me, and sort of has resonated with me for many years. And I guess over the past few years, I've been looking at machine learning and something called style transfer, and how it separates the style, which is what it kind of considers the aesthetic, from the content of something. And I'm guess for my thesis question, I'm wondering what is atmosphere, and is machine learning something that can be used to understand something that's inarticulable or not necessarily visible in images? Or
Hi, I'm Nate Paget. My question is, how do we prepare society for an autonomous future? I suspect the answer lies in building a society that's dedicated to making and really kind of taking the spirit of ITP and bringing it out of the floor. So how do we create a society that's committed to continued learning and exploration amidst increasing complexity and detachment from the means of production? I want to explore this topic through the development of a curriculum that's built around a series of small projects that help society reconnect with the act of making so that we can contribute to building this future rather than being displaced by it. Thanks.
Hey everyone, my name is Patrick. The buzz of cryptocurrencies has recently made me think about the advancements of technology. The advent of the internet has allowed cryptocurrencies to exist as many things have gone virtual or digital. Sending data in bytes between two parties, much like sending money to one another, is just a communication exchange. In many ways, Instagram likes, YouTube views, GitHub stars, or time are various forms of currency. And because of this, I often wonder how we think about things like paper money, plastic money, or if this actually had my address, digital currency. For my thesis, I'd like to explore currencies and how humans view it, interact with it, and understand it. With the help of artificial intelligence, AR, or blockchain, basically new technology, what are the trade-offs of this new age of digital currency? In all its various forms, currency has no intrinsic value. But with my analysis, I hope to spend my semester printing the money of the future, but maybe the future is a matter of publishing the money, not printing.
Hi, my name is Rita Chang, and I am interested in looking at the concept and politics of self-care. How has the technology industry co-opted and also marginalized the concept of self-care? What is the future of taking care of yourself? And also, how many hammocks can I hang at ITP?
Thank you, Group 5. Group 7, could you line up on the left, please? I have Brian, Daniela, Marco, Roy, Dror. Philip, Alex, and Michelle. All right, Group 6, are you ready?
Hi, my name is Yan Tian. My thesis is about people's daily health. The idea comes from the issue that there is an increase in the risk of heart disease. This project will be a combination of physical computing and mixed reality. So the augmented reality visualization system, the user will see the actual 3D model of the heart and the heartbeats with the live data from their body. I wanted to explore different scenarios for serving different communities, like for athletes, for patients, for surgeons, or for just normal people who are having concern about what's going on in their heart. So the challenge might be what kind of data I can get from the body and how to use the data to visualize the 3D model in AR and in real time. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Alex Zimmer. Working with a group of students in Chicago, I'm interested in how to create a collective narrative through personalized and collaborative workshops with these students, studying the past and present to think about what they want the future to look like.
Hi, my name is Chloe. I'm interested in augmented reality. I'm also interested in visual arts, colors, paintings, photography, and motion pictures. And the question I want to answer for my thesis is how to combine them together and put them into public space.
Hi, I'm Mona. For my thesis idea, I would like to research of mediation in a relationship between ourselves and the environment, such as community or the public space. So also the design intersections problem encountered in our daily life, and propose a critical analysis of design by integrating the aesthetic elements. By applying this idea in the research, I'll use AR or the VR to actualize experimental or the artistic and psychological intention into the digital content. And and then I would like to stretch this idea through the artistic and then the psychological contents derived from the public installation. Yes.
Hi, I'm Carly. My name is Yutong Zhang. My thesis idea is about self and inspired by outer space. Gravitational singularity is a situation where matter is forced to be compressed to a point. So nothing can escape and nothing can enter. So I found this very similar to self, like so many selves being forced to stay in our physical body. So many times we want to change, but you still you. And our communication is very based on self-looping and brainwashed by ourselves. For thesis, I want to explore a way to tell the story of self-looping and how others may break that loop and make the loop circle bigger.
Hi, I'm Sejo Pegasebrian. Evidence shows that the future of humanity as we know it is under a serious threat. Not only we have been roasting our planet, creating climate breakdown, but also we have been destroying the soil that we need to farm our food. We have been filling lands and oceans with plastic and toxic waste. All of this under the name of neoliberalism, an ideology based on extreme individualism and competition, as well as the promise of unlimited growth in a limited planet. For my thesis, I want to contribute to the current conversation that aims to create a new story for humanity based on our natural traits of collaboration, compassion, and sharing. And in order to achieve this, I want to guide or contribute creating a performance based on choreography, poetry, music, and digital media that would address all these issues and aim to move us all to take the action that we need to survive this century.
Hi, my name is Diana, and my thesis concept is going to be perspective. Each people has different perspectives. Based on this theory, I would like to reinterpret or recreating the gallery or museum. It might be creating interior information guidebook like as interactive branding, adding sound touching-based devices. It might be helpful to showing the gallery or museum to every user. My users are everyone. Everyone means it can be deaf, blinder. That a device can be mobile web based on printing book with internet.
Hi, I'm Sharif El Hadidi. I wanted to look at or do research on the concept of are the current trends in technology detrimental to society?
Thank you, Group 6. Group 8, please line up over here. I have Jinru, Lindsay Daniels, Lindsay Michelle, Ian Kim, Anastasios. Ariana, Cristobal, Diego Cruz, and Jinfrey Lin. Group 7, are you ready? All right, everyone, we're about to start. Could you quiet down, please? Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Brian Shu. What makes people cry or laugh? When you watch a movie or listen to a joke, the effectiveness of moments hit you depending on how these artists time their impact. How do you capture and recreate and generate these moments of perfect timing from the analysis of pre-created works? Does time necessarily have to be linear for us in our everyday lives? I don't know. My going thesis is to see if even possible, if there is a way to formulate this art form of timing and ultimately figure out an easy way to make people laugh and cry.
Hello, I'm Daniela Garcia. What if I told you that somewhere in the world there is a fountain of mercury? Actually, inside a museum, there is a fountain that has mercury flowing instead of water. Depending on how your brains are wired and your previous knowledge or memories, each one of us will have a unique mental model of this mercury fountain. However, what we all share is a capacity to wonder, a sense of curiosity, and the potential of discovery. The process begins with observation. However, what could happen if we design technology that could enhance our ability to discover?
Hello, I'm Marco. I'm interested in exploring the evolution and genealogy of rhythmic patterns in Latin America. I will be specifically doing an ethnography on candombe, which is Afro-Uruguayan music, dance, and culture. And hopefully I will be helping to bridge the gap between music technology and ethnomusicology.
Hi, I'm Roy Leff. Since I came to ITP, I find myself dealing again and again with the concept of space. Starting from POV, an extension of our body that lets us experience the space we're in from a different point of view, going to simulacra, which is an experience discussing the relations between physical and virtual spaces, and all the way to my current project, visualizing time changes of the city's public spaces. We are currently experiencing a peak of spatial mediums. Working with these mediums requires me to adopt a new syntax. Comparing to cinema and video, which I worked with for many years, frames and shots, which are eventually fractions of time, are now being replaced with spaces and environments. I'm interested in exploring the language of these spatial mediums and discuss the relations between them and our physical space, specifically the city's public spaces.
Hi, I'm Duo. For my thesis, I would like to explore the possible interactions around music playing. Music playing is a very intimate experience for most people. I would like to build the first IoT guitar pedal, or box. This pedal will allow its users to record a short snippet of music and to automatically add layers of music that were recorded by other people around the world. How this system that I just described integrate with the intimate experience that I talked about? How can this experience be socially personal and intimate? Could this system affect musicians in the same way that open source movement and platforms such as GitHub affected the developers community? These are all questions I would like to tackle while building my thesis project. Thanks.
My name is Andrew. I'm interested in the ways contemporary media affects the flow of information. How does the internet change the way we understand the world? How is our current political climate affected by the internet? How does the internet accelerate globalization's impacts on culture? How can these changes in individuality in ideology be represented?
You all know what I'm going to talk about anyway, so don't hi, I'm Alex Fast, studying AR, baseball, yada yada. Majority of AR I've experienced has been inspired, but overall very novel. AR is a very exciting field for consumers, but the lens consumers view it through is more of a disservice to the tech than a service to it. For every Pokemon Go, there are dozens of stack ARs, that is to say, for every lasting AR experience,
There's one that leaves consumers wondering if that was all. So my thesis question is, how can we leverage AR in a practical, non-novel way? How can we utilize the tech in a way that highlights its individuality? More specifically, how can we leverage AR to better a fan experience? So I'm going to be working, unfortunately, with the Staten Island Yankees and their baseball field in Staten Island in order to figure this out.
Hi, my name is Anna Shalera, and I wanted to, I have this question of how do we remember what's important to us in this digital age of abundance news and information? Reading the news daily, there's so many shocking and outrageous things going on daily, and I forget what happened yesterday, and I forget the important issues that get lost in our feeds. I want to explore the economy of distraction, its supply, demand, motivations, solutions, sources. Coming from an editorial background, I want to reach out to the people in that field, especially now since the landscape is changing, and I want to kind of get their insight to how to remedy this situation, or just explore ways that through an alt doc or an alt piece or a web tool, just find ways to remedy the distraction so we could focus on what really matters.
Thank you, Group 7. Group 9, please make your way to Michelle. I'm Sean Kim, Thierry, Sutong, Yuhan, Alejandro, Brau, Jasal, Melissa Park. Okay, group 8, are you ready? All right, everyone settle down, please, and so we can pay attention to group 8. Quiet, please. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jimmy. My question is, how to use digital technologies to explore speculative design of future life? I don't want to solve problems. I want to explore the boundary of imagination and find questions.
All right. Hi, I am Lindsay Daniels, and I really love food. Most people really love food. And I've spent a lot of time reading about gardening, farming, eating, our sense perceptions, all of the experience of food, and it always comes back to this place that our relationships with it is deeply personal, even when you don't realize that your relationship with food is deeply personal. So I really want to know if I can use these experiences and kind of the idea of food to translate identity. And if I can do that, and I'm pretty sure I can, how do I facilitate the sharing of self, like, from other people with those things?
Hi, I'm Lindsay. We are all a series of layered experiences tempered by our learning, our memories. There's a saying that you only truly die when someone says your name for the last time. This is a conceit. We are what people remember of us. The memories of Alzheimer's patients, for instance, their personal identities, deteriorate in real time, but those that surround them still remember them, so their legacy is, at the moment, intact. But what about when we're all gone? Digitally, we live on, taking up less and less space in the digital landscape, but that legacy, no longer in our control, can evolve and shift in unpredictable ways. I'm interested in exploring the link between memory, personal and projected, and identity. More specifically, I'm interested in exploring digital posterity, what digital representations of who we were might look like 100 years from now. The question I would like to answer confronts the discrepancy between memory, identity, and the accuracy of a digital legacy that can shift long after we are gone. Ideally, this will culminate in a mixed media experience of deteriorating memory.
Hi, my name is Ellen, and based on the experience designing an app for home security cameras and this summer, I raised the question, what makes house a home? And one of the popular keywords these days is smart home devices, and especially when thinking of Alexa or Google Home, I feel that the goal for these devices are heading towards the idea of how to make home experiences better. So as a UX designer, I am interested in designing a digital application that collects the data out of the household and providing them a better experience that users can also have even outside of the house.
Hello, I'm Anastasis. Mark Zuckerberg said in 2010, you only have one. Mark Zuckerberg said in 2010, you only have one identity. Having two identities is an example of a lack of integrity. Despite this statement being against everything we know from neuroscience and sociology, in the past decade, Zuck's vision of social life has become our reality. But anonymity is having a comeback. When Bitcoin goes up another 10x in value, an anonymous person, Satoshi Nakamoto, will become the world's richest individual. Widely available AR and VR headsets will get people to start identifying with the face and bodies they choose instead of those they were born with. And machine learning will allow us to mimic the style and behavior of someone else with ever-increasing accuracy. My question is, how do you educate people about the strange, beautiful future of fluid identities?
Hi, I'm Mariana Masivagulu, and my thesis question is, how do I use imagery and animation to create stories that augment people's perception of reality in real time through the lens of an art installation? And some of the tools I want to use are Google Maps, API, and 3D stuff.
Hi, I'm Chris. Here at ITP, I've been building tools for people to make things. Now I'm interested in building tools powered by artificial intelligence or machine learning. My specific question is, how can we put human and computer in a tight interactive loop We're both taking turns suggesting, producing, evaluating, and modifying, and selecting creative outputs.
Hi, I'm Diego, and my question is, can comic books survive in a digital-only world? I've enjoyed comic books my whole life, and I really want the same for my 2-year-old son, who is a really Spider-Man fan. But the comic book's future is uncertain. Digital and mobile revolution have come, and the industry is still trying to catch up. That's why I want to explore how comic books can really evolve, and I'm planning to do 2 things. 1, take a deep look into how we consume digital content today, and 2, how I can reimagine the comic book experience using digital, mobile, and the internet. I really believe the future is full of possibilities to save this beautiful industry for the next generations to come.
Hi, I'm Jade. For my thesis, I'd like to explore metaphors relief by, during my modern dance class this semester, I'm intrigued by how choreographers encourage the dancers to move by using spatial metaphors. It makes me reshape the idea that metaphors are not just matters of language, but are used extensively in reasoning and understanding. And the human conceptual system is actually metaphorical. So I'd like to question that how to use artificial intelligence to process models of knowledge representation and also language and emotion understanding.
All right, thank you, Group 8. We're going to call Group 10 to come line up over here. Liu, Juan, Xiang, Amanda, Danny, Dong, Manning, and Pan. On this side, everyone just, when you get up here, take a deep breath, don't rush through what you have to say. Take your time and, articulate your words carefully. Again, the timer is right in front of you, so you can look up and see how much time you have. You can pace yourself. When it's on yellow, it means you have 10 more minutes. Of course, when it's red, you're 10 seconds. Sorry. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Are you guys ready? You can come up.
Hi. Hi, my name is Sean Sung Kim, and how can you use technology to mimic spiritual experience, and how it can be used to help people achieve their inner peace? Actually, this is why I decided to come to ITP, and this is going to be my thesis question. And during past 3 semesters at ITP, I worked with many experimental technologies to answer this question, such as combining brainwave sensor with VR. And also I was thankfully selected as a Dalai Lama Fellow, and this opportunity provided me the guidance on how to use such a technology to improve mindfulness. And for the next 3 months, I will continue developing this idea to allow the average person like me to experience what it's like to be a Dalai Lama over time. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Thierry Kanarak. My thesis question is, what does experimental music sound like in the age of machine learning? I am interested in cybernetics. Intelligent learning systems study and learn from feedback, especially mistakes. Feedback is the communication between 2 things. It is a process of learning and evolving. Mistakes are the part of this learning process, and I think mistakes are beautiful. I would like to explore the concept of a machine learning, a machine that studies mistakes, creates its character from these, and is able to create its own art. # cheating machine learning.
Hi, I'm Shitong. My thesis question is, can a series of reversed physical principles be created and be used to narrate a story in a virtual space? Physical walls always direct our world. It expresses different properties of different objects to us. We're all familiar with it and take what happens under these rules or laws as granted. So I want to explore the interactive possibilities when all of these laws are reversed in a virtual space. What's going to happen, in which way objects are going to move, and how people are going to react to this.
Hi, my name is Yuhan, and my thesis question is, can different spatial relationships affect on how we perceive and process the information from objects or person around us? And how can I make that negative space tangible to have people pay attention to that? And how do I design the experience to have people realize the subtle changes between spatial space and their emotional state?
Hi, I'm Alejandro. We spend a huge amount of time in the internet, and one of the common ways today to access the internet is through different doors such as Google Chrome, Safari, Firefox, and so on. Double-clicking these different doors opens a container that allow us to browse the web. Some of these doors cares about security, privacy, ad blocking, but at the end, the experience is kind of the same. During the live web class, I've been working in the idea of a browser that requires to access the web with multiple people at the same time, sharing each tab with a different person. I want to keep exploring different ways to access, explore, and experience the internet. My thesis question is, how would be the experience of accessing the web from a side door?
I'm Brown. I like games. I find them to be an outstanding form of interaction. I like games. I find them to be an outstanding form of... Sorry. I like games. I find them to be an outstanding form of interaction. That's good. Oh well. They show how people really are. That is a very powerful attribute. Each person decides how to use that. I choose to make them fun. Make sure that when you play, you just play and enjoy yourself. That's it. So that I've been doing. Last semester I made a video game that had physical controls. That one about racing to waste money by swiping on a $1 bill. Pretty sure most people know what I'm talking about. I want to explore that. And so how do physical interfaces affect or shape a digital game experience? And how can this interface be as or more important than the game shown on screen? I want to explore that dependency between these two sides and play with it and see where this takes me.
Hey guys, I'm Jaisal. While at ITP, I've been focused on connected products, user experience, and product design, mainly in the mindfulness and meditation space. How can we apply behavioral economics and physical product design to not only help individuals make better decisions and build positive habits, but also how to use those same design and implementation principles, how they can be used to help nudge entire societies in a positive direction to help collectively solve some of the world's biggest problems, such as climate change, implications of our autonomous future, overpopulation, and more. A startup I've been working on for about a year now, has been focused on contributing solutions to alleviate stress, a $1 trillion health epidemic responsible for the top 6 causes of death. This would be one of the main case studies to explore these questions through. This will be the seed to a larger piece of work, most likely a book that will further explore this topic and hopefully serve as the guiding principles in the entrepreneurship, product, and user experience.
Hi, I'm Melissa. The question I wanted to answer is, what is a way to make math fun and accessible for kids? In order to address this question, I'm going to combine two of my interests, math and honeybees, which are highly mathematical insects. Through evolution, bees have solved the traveling salesman problem, which is known in biology as optimal foraging theory. If you have to travel to a bunch of cities to make sales or hit up a bunch of flowers to collect pollen, how do you optimize your route to spend the least amount of money or energy? I would like to create an interactive exhibit for children so they can explore this problem themselves. The kids would essentially role play as worker bees. In front of them would be a space with big fabricated flowers. They would go from one flower to another collecting pollen, and the flowers would light up. The distance that the child traveled would be recorded, and a screen would show the path that they had taken. The queen bee might appear on the screen and give them a kid-friendly performance review. By the end of the interaction, the child will have a more intuitive understanding of a complex mathematical concept, and hopefully in a very small way help to minimize math anxiety down the road.
Hello, I'm Paula León. Since I came to ITP, I've been researching with dreams from different perspectives in different classes. So I want to keep going in this research, and I want to conclude this process through the thesis. On one side, I would like to create an app to archive dreams, so people could keep track of them on time and make some kind of analysis. And on the other side, as a filmmaker, I am interested in the narrative and visual aspects of dreams. So I want to keep researching on that. And my questions are, I'm very admirer of like each person and I that becomes kind of a filmmaker. I'm interested in the visual mechanism of dreams and the narratives through them. So I would like to create an art project to reflect this process in brain in an art exhibition.
Hi, I'm Jared. Background in filmmaking and game design, and I'm also bipolar, which has shaped my experience at ITP and my life in general. So my question is, how can we use interactive design and technology to convey the spectrum of mood states that comprise bipolar experience in a way that is immersive, authentic, and enlightening? Hope to place people in the shoes of one or several bipolar minds in their different mood states and help increase understanding and awareness of the bipolar perspective.
Thank you, Group 9. Group 11, please line up on your left. All right, Group 10, are you ready?
Hi, I'm Stanley. Recently, I visited Cancun, Mexico to visit the Maya archaeological sites. I'm impressed by how splendid the disappeared culture was, but no one can be sure about what actually happened at that time because the Maya people didn't write down their histories. And I realized that the same thing happens a lot to culture, to history, and to every real thing that happened and be forgotten. So it is very sad and helpless when you cannot prove the reality. I want to discuss this topic through traditional and new media, and I'm still considering the specific format.
Hi, I'm Michelle. So for my thesis, I want to continue myself questions about what is reality? How can you tell in a reality world? What is the hint of reality? What if the dream is certain enough? How can you know you're in reality or illusion? What if the dream is also a reality? Does reality always come with memory, but the illusion does not have memory? What is the connection between body sensory and memory? Does body sensory means real? What if people around you are in the same page with you? Would you doubt your reality or not? Is there a possibility you know nothing, you're knowing this is nothing else, but still love it better than reality? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jiyoung Chung, and my thesis question is everyone's everyday concern. What should I eat today? I'm not only interested in food, but also interested in how digital and virtual space can be seamlessly blended into physical space where we are living in real life, and participating in the storytelling in that blended space. I want to create a series of site-specific augmented food theme parks located somewhere in Manhattan using AR technology and GPS, and Google Places and Foursquare API. The theme parks will be augmented in a big cubes using several blocks of New York City as my canvas. Also, I'm going to use my own drawing, paintings, and digital 3D capture photogrammetry as my visuals of my narratives. People will exit the theme parks with the answer of what they will eat today. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Amanda. I'm thinking to work with photos I take every day. After using smartphones, it became very easy to take photos and also very easy to delete them. For me, I take more than like 20 photos every day, and I have like more than like 20,000 photos in my iPhone. But unlike my childhood, I don't have any like printed photos in my 20s, which I can't really touch and see it. And even though we have like Google Drive, I think it's very hard to like preserve our photos these days, and it makes me feel like I'm losing my memories sometimes. Yeah. So my question is there any better way to organize and preserve and display my photos in a tasteful way? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kim Kim. Last summer, I went back to Seoul unexpectedly since my father was diagnosed with tumor in his stomach. It was a rare type of cancer. Thankfully, it was curable with surgery, but he's taking lots of pills in a day now to prevent recurrence. He needs to take these medicines on various times with food or without food, keep up with expiration dates. So dealing with medication can be overwhelming sometimes. So I want to make an app using augmented reality, maybe, that lets patients know details, drug facts, correlation between the pills, and so on, so that it can possibly help the patient to understand what medicines they are taking in everyday life, and hopefully managing their disease better. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Manning. 1 minute is too short. A person's lifetime isn't that long enough either. So for my thesis, I want to explore how to make the older adults' life better with design and technology, solving the problems without them realizing that technology exists. A lot of designs are focused on the senior's house, but I want to take care of their feelings. What I cherish the most is the connections we have with people we love and the world we live. So besides designing for the elderly, I also want to find out how to seize some beautiful moments in our fleeting time with mixed reality. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Pan. So my thesis would like to focus on the technology and us. So these days, most people won't leave the house without their smartphone, tablet, or laptop. So this type of connectivity results in a unique device and user relationship. So technology is no longer a machine to us. It has become an extension of our personality, which enable us to respond to the current society's demand. So my thesis question is would like to focus on how technology can read us and understand us more emotionally. Thanks.
Okay, group 11, you're up.
Hi, my name is Wenshi Li, aka Eric. Look through my past years, there is one thing I suffer the most, which is anxiety. There is one possible explanation for it from a literature theory which called the anxiety of influence, created by Harold Bloom, saying that a new writer becomes inspired to write because he has read and admired previous writers, but soon this admiration turns into anxiety and resentment because he feels that the previous writers have said everything he wants to say. And he might not know his interpretation of previous writers actually might come from the previous writers' anxiety to their precursors. So my question is, how can I use this intermittent power to build my works? And I want to build a poetic machine to based on machine learning to trace, visualize, and map where it comes from and assist artists to do research. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Yuping, and my thesis proposal is to create a new type of theater technology that dynamically binds the visual projections with the spoken words of the actor using existing natural language processing APIs. So I believe that the theater play is inherently tied to literature, and yet current theater technology is largely centered around motion tracking as well as predetermined scene arrangements. So I believe that if the stage can correspond to the spoken language of the actors in real time, then there will be a new degree of freedom to live performance as well as improvisation. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Yoonho Choi. For my thesis, I want to create a data-driven audiovisual art project approaching to the human context. The core thing I want to explore is how to bridge between digital age's complexity and human's natural instinct. This is highly connected with human beings' mental problems like anxiety in today's fast-changing environment. I'm mostly thinking about how can I use data in a good way, so I want to carefully research and use about meaningful human data and also find the way how can immersive and interactive environment positively affect our mind.
Hello, my name is Mint, Warya Punya Panachoti. Mouthful. How does new technology change the creative design process for architects and their design teams? In the past, new ideas were usually sketched out, drawn on papers, or they were made in small prototypes or models as 2D dimensionals and 3-dimensional representations. As technology evolves, new tools and software becomes part of the daily life in architecture and workflow to visualize ideas. But architects did not have the virtual reality and augmented reality technologies. Now they do. VR and AR makes possible their ideas to be represented in one-to-one scale and let them be immersed and inside of their own design even before it is built. I was trained as an architect. It is clear to me that VR and AR are technologies that have a lot of potential in architecture. So I want to investigate their influences in the creative design process. Thank you.
Hi guys, I'm Chetan. We are surrounded with disasters. Recent events like Mexico earthquakes, California fires, Houston floods have all caused lives. Billions of dollars are spent on emergency systems. For my thesis, I want to find out gaps that exist in disaster mitigation systems and optimize them to maximize rescue operations.
Hi everybody, I'm Christina Elizabeth Hall, but I go by Chris. Being here at ITP, I've been really interested in the medium of interactive, non-linear storytelling, kind of bringing in the concept of making the viewer the editor. And this is something that I really want to kind of explore moving forward with my thesis. Narrative in the form of film has been very successful as, having a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it's kind of told within a frame. And I really kind of want to step out of that frame and make really important non-fiction stories accessible and immersive, not necessarily in a headset, but in public spaces and in live theater situations with the forever evolving tech that we have exposed to us today.
Hi y'all, my name is JC Holmes, and I don't want the future of augmented reality to exist on my cell phone or in my glasses. I always lose my phone, my eyesight can't handle glasses, so I'm really interested in exploring what we can do with augmented reality by embedding it into environments and not attaching it to the user. So potential use cases could be, I am a mathematician by training, I like to work on paper. How can I equip this piece of paper with the smart capabilities of like a TI-84 calculator? I also am really interested in behavior change and like introducing ideologies to different types of communities. That's a weirder use case, but that's why thesis is in May, so I have time to figure it out.
Hi, I'm Jenny. How can we apply the principles of game design and behavioral economics in order to promote thoughtful political discourse between individuals who disagree? In high school, I did debate club and model Congress, and I think that debate is a terrible thing to teach children because it celebrates winning. And you are encouraged to listen to your opponent only insofar as it is necessary to find weaknesses in their arguments and then attack them. I think that this is a style of discourse that dominates a lot of political discussion today, and I think that it's a shame because it promotes polarization rather than collaboration and progress. I would like to create an alternative environment that celebrates listening rather than arguing, and in which the end goal is not winning, but understanding. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kenzo. I'm torn between two thesis directions. With my background in industrial design, I want to ask, what would an online digital resource or catalog of physical products look like? I want to create a database of physical products that is part design museum, part encyclopedia, and spec sheet. For important products, we get a list of materials it uses, its manufacturing processes, blueprints, and images, the lineage of that product, the names of the designers, and engineers that worked on it, and patents attributed to it. The second project would be an answer to a completely different question. How do our morals and opinions differ from one another across geographic regions and population segments? Taking inspiration from the political compass test, which asks you a series of difficult questions to arrive at an estimate of where you are on the political and social spectrum. I want to make an interactive and social platform where users answer questions and perhaps provide a zip code of where they live, and the results can then be mapped to geographic regions for comparison.
All right, thank you, Group 11. Group 13, line up on this side. Gina, Yanlin, Elizabeth, Swapna, Jasmine, C. Young, Chester, and Akrat. All right. Anyone who came late, could you please go to the back of the line of Group 13? All right, Group 12, you're up.
Hi, I'm Michael Lawrence Kripchak. I'm going to explore theories and methods of regaining ownership in the upcoming paradigm shift of a more virtually, physically integrated world. What's that?
Hi, I'm Nitish, and so most of us have spent a lot of time and money on various components in order to make prototypes for our tangible products. As ITPers, I'm sure you have gone through a bunch of part spec sheets, watched tutorials while trying to cut, fix, join, print, write, wire, and solder standardized parts just to execute simple ideas. These components, even though made by different manufacturers, are still a part of a larger complex and traditional modular system. Modular electronics parts and products haven't been extraordinarily successful in the general consumer market, but modularity is the very basic requirement in tools for research, program, develop, and demonstrate ideas. For my thesis, I would like to explore the properties and constraints of a modular product system so as to verify if it can be successfully implemented to create a tool to control, automate, and experience for the general consumer. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Richard. My interests are generally in the fields of AR and immersive environments, and how these technologies will be used to distort our reality in the near future. Well, we're entering a period where technologists create because they can without asking whether or not they should. I'd like to create a dystopian augmented reality experience that brings attention to potentially dangerous features that are within the realm of possibility in the near future. Some of these features may be selective audio, only hear the ideas and conversations that you want to, commercially connected reality, and a beauty filter to distort others' appearances to conform to a personal beauty standard. I'd ideally like to release this application in earnest and see if the general public accepts it. I'd also like to offer solutions to these problems, and I'm still thinking exactly what that would look like. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Danny Kim. The potential for JavaScript-based web VR is obvious, but we're not quite there yet. It's not accessible by everyone, the technology is still developing, it's costly, just to name a few. And I hope to research and experiment how and what choices, whether it's design, functionality, distribution, or content, that needs to be made for browser and mobile-based VR to cross the chasm and become successful and adapted by the early majority of pragmatists. Just like how the smartphone got integrated into our daily lives, can, how, and when can web VR be prevalent in ours?
Hi, my name is Yuno Lee. Why do you try to detox from mobile and get back to reality? What's good about reality? Do we really need to augment reality? I say yes, because our reality is still fun, with full of unpredictable and unlimited random context. But sometimes it also seems really mundane and pretty much the same every day, so that we overlook the beauty of random nature of reality. That's when we go back to the small screen and try to get some interesting stories from Facebook or others. So my question is, how can we augment the random nature of reality? How can we all contribute to create interesting stories, juxtaposing with our reality, to make even mundane moments more random? I'll explore the possibility of a mobile platform for collective narrative, harnessing physical space surrounding us. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Jen Tiss, and I'm interested in exploring what the value is in learning the history of a place. How can we learn more about the past of the places that we inhabit every day in the present, whether that might be a building, a neighborhood, or an entire city? And how can we, through technology, engage with the history of a place in a meaningful and lasting way?
Hi, I'm Katie Takis, and I'd like to explore empathy in a physical installation. Can empathy be developed and expanded through designing an experience?
Hi, I'm Zach. I'm interested in cultural memory and the institutions and individuals involved in creating and preserving it, and the dynamics between those groups and what that reveals about society and what we deem to be important. So I'm also interested in satire. So I want to combine the two of those in a text generation project to create an alternate version of Wikipedia.
All right, thank you, Group 12. Group 13, you're up. Everyone, I think there are two people who came late. Could you please line up toward the back of this line over here, so you can also present your thesis idea.
Hello, my name is Gina Zhang. For as long as I can remember, I've been observing my surroundings and expressing myself through paintings. Now I'm envisioning the moment when I can transform my art into a new virtual realm. Since I started ITP, my interests have shifted from only fine art to transforming paintings into 3D designs to more fully explore depth. The depth in both my paintings and 3D designs have a camera perspective at eye level, which is the way humans see the real world. By incorporating this perspective between the physical and virtual, viewers immerse themselves in these circumstances with paintings and interactive media. Through this, I would like to create my paintings to show elements that rest in the space between the tangible and the intangible. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Yelin. Interface is interesting. We have soft interfaces, hard interfaces, digital interfaces, and I'm really interested in forms and shapes. And I believe that the colors, forms, and shapes, they have a lot of very interesting characteristics from the perspective of human interaction design. So for my thesis, I'm trying to explore something in different scenarios, such as
devices, shape-changing cores, kind of materials, in order to investigate the design space of shape-changing interfaces. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth White. So roughly the first 20 years of my life were spent training for a performance career. When I came to ITP, I decided to leave all of that to the past due to what Western doctors told me was a chronic injury. However, even though I have no longer been inducing this physical strain on my body, it seems like my injury has worsened over time, and I can't really understand how that would be. So I'm wondering, is it because I've not been connected with my body? Have I neglected the connection between my mind and body by spending all my time and energy focused on electronics and a screen? So for my thesis, I'd like to explore how I can utilize the very technology that I feel has pulled my attention away from my body and transform it into a tool for gaining a deeper understanding of my mind and body connection. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Swapna. The future of intelligent content experiences, new media, interactive technologies sounds fantastic and even unnerving, but it is already leading to a situation where the lines between the producer and audience are increasingly blurring across the platforms of exchange and connection. I then read about inclusion design that emphasizes on the contribution that understanding user diversity makes to informing responsible decisions and thus has the potential to exclude and include as many people as possible. So my thesis questions are we isolating edge case users with new forms of technology? How can inclusion design apply to new collective analysis of users, defining solutions to masses that will be usable to the greatest extent possible by everyone, regardless of their age, ability, or status in life? How can we evolve services and products beyond their conventional definitions to change our standards for these products and services? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jasmine. How can we make transparent and immediate the effects our lives are having on global economic, social, and environmental systems? What does it mean to address these issues when the media we're using to do so, computers, sensors, and the networks on which they rely, are dependent on fossil fuels and the neoliberal world order, when these tools are themselves manifestations of the systems we aim to critique? How can we address the ethical dilemma presented when we use tools based on ecological destruction and economic exploitation that run counter to the aims of their use? What does ecologically sustainable and humane computing look like?
Hi, my name is Sam. For my thesis, I will visualize something invisible. So what would be the invisible thing? Other than designing technology, I'm really interested in how humans perceive and remember the world. So I'm going to dig a little deeper in this cognitive psychology and human memory process. My thesis question will be, how can I describe and visualize this invisible human memory and cognition process? And what will be the right specific example?
Hi, I'm Chester. I wanted to explore how aesthetics can be used as a delivery method or a means for engagement to incite conversation around topics outside of the common discourse. Here at ITP, I've been conflicted with the idea of successful interaction in design. What is successful design? How can well-designed interactive works provoke meaningful reflection through discomfort and tension with the user? I would like to design a series of works that I have started in ready-mades and in Nime and continue exploring this idea.
Thank you, group 13, and we just have two people who came late. Simon, you were in group 2, and Simon?
Sorry. My name is Man Lee, and I like to discuss a topic where, as a kid, my parents always told me to go outside and play around with your friends and don't just stay around on your own. And teacher told me that to collaborate with each other and make a lot of friends and be outgoing. and society like build us, and science build us, and mobile phones and internet to keep us connected all the time. While I think it's important to make friends and be outgoing and keep connected with everyone, be social, but I do think it's important to stay alone once in a while to make you charge and communicate with yourself. So as for thesis, I like to make physical installations that discuss the topic about communicating with yourself and others.
Hi, I'm David. I'm always interested in music and interaction, and the question for my thesis is how can we express music without learning any instrument? As humans, we try to express our emotion all the ways, all the time, through the way we talk, where we look at our body posture. And the idea of this project is try to use our cell phone to capture all this data and then analyze them and then recreate music. So we will have a universal interface to creating music without learning any instruments. Thanks.